All right, so here we are, Tuesday morning. Truck is pre-bidded at $12.25. So we are not messing it with it. Let me show y'all why. So if you go right here, 12.050, which would be the next hit if you were to even touch it. Let's say you want it on the very next bid, you'd be $13,000 out the door, not repaired. So it does probably have a crushed cab corner. Me and Mike looked it over yesterday, and we both agreed it probably has a crushed cab corner. Yeah, suspension pieces tore out of it. It is aftermarket. Looks like the 4-link bars, basically, like they changed it. They do make kits for these where you can change it to basically 4-link bars in the front instead of just the one. Axle could be bent. I already have the fender, I have the door. And it would need a front bumper to get rid of the aftermarket stuff, and then you'd also need a 4 set of wheels. So even if you want it within a few clicks, you know, like if it didn't shoot up more than the $12.25, you'd still end up easily $15,000 in this one repaired. So my white one that I bought, it was a 250 Lariat also. My bid on that one, I'm pretty sure was $7,800. And then my bid on my 450, I believe, was only $11,000 and some change. Both of them were Lariats, extremely nice. So what it is with these truck stuff is normally you jump at them whenever they pop. You know, normally if you just go after the first one that pops up, then a lot of times they go a little higher. But if you will sit it out and you'll actually, you know, wait on one, then a lot of times you can get a deal. So I know you can get a deal because I've literally got them in the past. This is too high. And the branch that this one's at in Wilmington, Wilmington branch normally brings higher bids than anywhere from for trucks. I don't think I've ever bought a personal truck besides one that was actually a clean title back in the day. No, yes, I think it was a clean title, but it was coming from a dealer that I knew was shady and I knew would probably have problems. Bought it and it had transmission problems, and I put a transmission in it. It was a 7.3, and I expected to put a transmission in it. Yeah, we're not gonna mess with it. So you've got to basically, you have to buy a truck when you don't need a truck. You don't ever buy one when you need it. Honestly, I am looking forward to driving that 6.0. I do love the sound of the 7.3, 6.0, and the Cummins, you know, like 12 valves. I love that old school loud, you know, motor. If I could take a 2020 and make it loud as a 12 valve, that'd be like the perfect truck ever. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to driving it. However, we are not looking forward to what we're doing this morning. So we're gonna go ahead out here into the bay, and I'm back on ball joints again this morning. So yesterday afternoon, I barely got them broke down. You know, got a couple things, the wheel off of it and stuff you've seen in the video, but I didn't actually make no ground on anything. So we're gonna slide out here, get our hands dirty this morning, and try to get some ball joints in this thing and get these, you know, this steering extended. All right, so in this episode of I Hate My Life this morning, we have the crap apart. So what we're going to do is I'm waiting for the ball joint tool from next door. The one I have is a cheap Harbor Freight one. Darren next door does diesel mechanics. He's the one that put the injector pump in this truck, and so he's going to run over the nice one. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this drag link, and then what we'll do is prep the tube, put the tube in there, tighten this up, I guess, figure out where it goes, and then burn it in or something. We'll figure it out as we go. So we're running over here to the metal yard to go get a sleeve for that drag link. The pipe that I had at the shop has a little bit of slack around the perimeter of the drag link, so it's not a super tight fit. Mike says it'll be fine. I think it'd probably be fine. We were talking about putting 1/2-inch plug welds all down the sides of it, but I decided just to go ahead and run over here real quick, see if I can get a tighter fitting sleeve, because obviously a tighter fitting sleeve is going to be stronger than a sleeve that has a little bit of space between the sleeve and the drag link, even with the plug welds. You know, if I don't find nothing, then we'll use what we got. It's not the end of the world. It'll work perfectly fine, but I'd rather get something tighter. I wanted to go over one thing with y'all real fast on the cost of that truck, because I know I'm gonna have comments on the black F-250 from this morning. I just wanted to remind everybody that if you bought the truck and you were $15,000 in it, you know, out the door, and if you repaired it and, you know, you were at $15,000 to $18,000 in it, that's still a pretty freaking good price for that truck. That truck only had 100K. Here's the problem. We're trying to flip up on this episode, you know, these little series with these trucks. We're trying to flip up. We're not trying to get us into a truck for a, you know, a couple $1,000 discount. Normally, I would try to just get myself into the nicest truck I could, you know, get. So if I had $15,000 to spend or $30,000 to spend, I'd want to spend every penny on a truck, you know, even if it was only a couple thousand below what the truck's value was. But the whole goal here is, you got to keep in mind with this, is we need a nice truck that has value, but we also need some meat left on the bone, so that we can flip up. We need to make $5,000 to $10,000 on every flip up that we do, if we're going to change trucks. I do a lot of stuff to these trucks, and I put a lot of time in it, and it's, you know, if I'm trying to climb the ladder up fast, I need $5,000 to $10,000 profit on every single one. If I was buying a truck for personal use and I was going to keep it for a year or 2 years, my white F-250 I kept for 2 years. The black F-450 that we just sold, I had like 6 months, if that, probably 5 months. So if we're going to be turning a new truck over every month to 5 months, then we need $5,000 to $10,000 profit on every single one, so that we can climb this ladder as fast as possible. I'm trying to get up to a 17 or up F-250 or 350. So we've got to have some meat on the bone. So we can't go after, you know, just fair pricing. We've got to go after deals. So I just want to make sure everybody understands the situation with that, and I don't get a bunch of comments about how $15,000 or $18,000 for that truck is a good deal. Because if you stack $5,000 to $10,000 on top of that, now you're getting into what that truck is worth clean title Kelly Blue Book, and that means it's going to be harder to sell. So we technically want to make $5,000 or $10,000 on every truck, and we want to sell it for like $5,000 below Blue Book or $2,000 below Blue Book. That way they sell really fast, because we're going to be buying a truck before we sell a truck. So I'm going to be putting out anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 out, you know, of our money to purchase a truck, and then we will recoup that money when we sell the truck. So you've got to be careful with your numbers when you're doing this, and really pay attention to values and, you know, what you're getting into the vehicle for. So for example, on that black 450 that we just sold, I sold it for $30,000, which is approximately $10,000 below what its clean title value is. So if it was a clean title, we could have probably got $40K out the truck. Even if you say no, you're not getting $40K clean title, you're only getting $35K, which I'm pretty sure to Kelly Blue Book on it was $40K. But even at $35K, if it was worth $35K clean title, then that means we sold it for $5,000 below Blue Book. Okay, we made $10,000 on that truck. That's what I profited on the flip up on that truck. So I was able to make $10,000 and deliver it to the buyer for $5,000 to $10,000 below Blue Book, because it is salvage. See what I'm saying? That's the mathematical equation that you have to have to do basically what I'm doing, if you want to do it at a fast pace, like if you want to climb the ladder really fast. Check that out, a 350 dually short bed. You don't ever really see them things in short bed. That's pretty cool. Boy, now there's some old millers, some big old welders, man. Some big boys. Here's our little piece that we got. This is gonna fit perfect. So we just got this 15 inches and 3.5 pounds, and it's gonna sleeve right on here, nice and tight. So $2 for that sleeve. He said, man, that's $1 million piece. I said, boy, that thing come out the scrap pile. And he's like, how's $2 sound? I was like, that's fine. I was like, but all I got is a card, because to process the card, sometimes they pay a fee on something like that higher than what the part's worth. And so he was like, man, get out of here. He was like, just remember you owe me $2 on the next one. I was like, I don't forget. But I'm the type where I'm not my connections and the people that I use and do business with, I don't want to ruin my reputation over a couple bucks. So I'll make sure to remember that $2, and next time I'll make sure to remind him to add that $2 back. So just in case they remember, you don't want to burn your reputation over a couple bucks. So let's get back to the shop. Keep moving on these ball joints. At least now I got the sleeve, so whenever Mike gets back to the shop, he can go ahead and weld that up so that that's done. That way it's waiting on him instead of him waiting on me. And I just wanted to point out one thing also, because I keep thinking about stuff that's probably gonna pop up in the video. When you're sleeving these, okay, you're sleeving the actual part. So if this part wears out and goes bad, there is no moving your sleeve to the next part. So if you were gonna do one of these and you were gonna keep this truck for a while, I would definitely recommend buying a brand new drag link. Okay, first off, the best one you could buy local, then sleeve that one. And when you go buy your material for your sleeve, I'd buy at least enough to do 2 or 3 sleeves. That way, if you later on this part wears out, you know, in a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, you don't have to go track down the metal again, because you already found the perfect fit and you have it in storage ready for the next part. There's probably better ways to do it. You know, you can obviously buy an extended drag link, they sell them, or you could buy the drop down brackets. I'm sure they sell them, but in this situation, $2 and a little bit of time, that's the win for us, because we're not trying to put, you know, sink a bunch of money into this. So on our ball joint, we're about to start pressing it out. I'm not going to show y'all how to do it. Obviously, there's tons of videos on how to press out a ball joint, but we've got everything out, chunked up here on our wobbly paint stand table. And then Darren next door was nice enough to let us borrow this Mako tool ball joint press. Like I said, I have the Harbor Freight one, the El Cheapo, but this thing makes your job so much easier. So we're gonna fight with this, all these cups and everything, and get this ball joint pressed out. And when you go, just a little tip in case y'all have one of these trucks, you're ever doing one of these. I'm not really trying to do an instructional video at all, but figured I'd show you. When you go to install these, they do have this piece in the end that you can, you know, tap your axle in, but they actually make a legit tool you know, this sets your axle seal up inside there, sets it correctly. And we've used it on a couple Super Duties, so it's designed to fit in there perfect like that. And then you smack on the end, and that pushes all the seal up in there tight and correctly. So this is for the Ford Super Duty trucks. It works all the way up to I know the 15s, 16s, 17s and up. I imagine they're the same also, but this should be at least 99 to 16. You know, so if you have one of these trucks and you're gonna be doing this, you probably definitely want to pick up one of these tools off of your tool truck. We got our sleeve cut, and all we did is went ahead and drilled some 1/2-inch plugs. As you can tell, they are not across from each other. I did stagger them. So the goal is for basically this to end up something like that. Okay, and then Mike will get a weld around the end. He'll get a weld in each plug. You know, and on this one, he'll get a weld in each plug and a weld around the end. And you'll put your center, you know, should be between the 2 plugs. That way it has the most strength, in my opinion. That should be absolutely, you know, as strong as the original part, if not stronger, because now it's thicker. Anyways, so I had to go back and add my extra holes in it because Mike was complaining, as normal, everything I do is wrong. And he has a Google engineer degree, and he wasn't happy with all my plug holes, and he wanted 4 more. So now we have literally, there's going to be 4 plug holes in each piece and 8 total. So she shouldn't be going nowhere even when we jump it and ball get on Friday night while we're drunk. Got a straight steering wheel in my life. Mike got some tacks on her, some old boogers. Now we're gonna take it back out, and Mike's gonna do what the welders like to refer as burning her in. Burn her in, bud. And when y'all are welding, you should always weld on an approved table. And make sure you don't weld over top of like a trash can or anything that would have combustibles in it. And how mad you gonna be if Mike burns our trash can down?
Straight down the center.
This is not my good one. This is the good trash can. This is our favorite trash can.
Nah, blue's got my name on it. Got your name on it.
Oh yeah, the blue one does have his name on it. Yeah, I forgot about that. Look at that, Mike welding with a Miller. Mike, does this come from China?
Yeah, probably.
And we got big news happening over here, buddy.
Do you really?
Yeah, big news.
What?
Guess what?
Pick
We got one side back together. Everything but the steering rod. What time is it, Ed? 1:30, 1 o'clock. So that's how my day's been so far. One together. Mike's got the drag link welded. And we're about to move on to the other side. We're shaking up some 2 times the coverage paint and primer. And we're gonna go ahead and get these rails done while the wheels are off. And then, did anybody order my oil change? I think she was.
She said she was. She said she had it.
See.
Probably not.
See, that's the difference between y'all and me, is y'all hide receipts from your wife, and I tell my wife to order stuff for the truck. So hopefully she ordered my oil change, so that I can get oil change in while it's up there. Fog lights just come in the mail, so we can throw the fog lights back in this Jewel. That way we can see how to hit deer at night, and we're gonna move on to the other side. Come in here and do a little painty. Turbo John style, baby. Coming in with the rattle can with old TJ style. The old shake and bake. Don't get it on your shocks though. You don't want it to look like you rattle canned it on for real, y'all. Don't get it all over everything. Right, Ed? You don't want to make it look like you rattle canned it. Remember when I painted my white F-150? I painted like literally the whole frame, y'all. You remember? I painted the, no, the one Troy bought from me. Yeah, I painted
F-150. That's 250.
No, well, 250. That's what I mean. Yeah, I painted like everything with the paint gun.
It's still holding up good too. So a little bit on
See?
it, not long ago.
Ed's buddy bought it. My the 250 I had.
Which unfortunately means I gotta do the work now.
Ed still has to do the work on it. But yeah, I painted literally that whole frame rail with the paint gun. Like all the rails, the axles, everything. Just because one day I was very angered and there was like parts not coming in or something. And so I decided just to go to town and paint everything. Painted the whole bottom side, mixed up some paint. I think it was like single stage equipment paint. Anyway, that's that. So looks 100 times better. That's how we're gonna leave it. Oh, Ed, I'm gonna go ahead and get the brake calipers for you that you got on me about. Yeah, you told me I should have painted the brake calipers. Can you see them through the rims? But now, boy, somebody about to comment, man, you're getting paint all over the rotors. Yeah, I know. You just got to hit the brakes really hard to get them hot, so it wears off. There you go. Look, that looks good. Should we paint that right there? Maybe like that? No, I'm just playing, y'all. That's gonna drive somebody crazy. And I don't know if y'all know it, but y'all know that most of these lock lugs are not actually lock lugs. Like, we literally have a kit over there with like 7 different keys that pretty much fit everything. So these are the old ones that come off the vehicle. And there's the lock for them. And here's the new ones that I just got in that are in that box. Same lock. So actually, they're not really like lock lugs. If you're one of them people that think that, you know, maybe you think that every key is different or whatever, it's not. There's only like a handful of them. We literally have a kit that looks like this with sockets that have like all these different lock lugs in them. So we have 2 more of these lock keys exactly for this. So just figured it interesting fact that I'd point out in case you didn't know. All right, so we got that side back together. Got all that done. Got the drag link put in. Got it painted at Mike welded, and went to put the fog lights in, and I can't get them to fit between this opening. So it looks like the grill has to come out and maybe to slip down from the top. I don't know why somebody took them out to begin with. I don't know. Maybe some people have this weird thing that they think, you know, taking step bars and lights off because the step bars are missing, you know, makes the truck look better, but I'm trying to put it all back. So it looks like I'm about to take the grill off to get them down behind there. Went to look up in here and noticed that there was some buildup. On these you have a stack, so you have like the 3 coolers, including the transmission, intercooler, and all that stuff, all stacked together. So you have to look out for stuff getting behind them and getting all you know, wedged in there where then the truck don't cool good. So that's what everything that I've got out of it so far. It's a bunch of freaking, looks like a bird's nest. So there's probably still more up in there. Hopefully driving it will loosen some up and get it down. But I'll probably take it at the house on the weekend and try to open it up from the top side and fold them open a little and get a pressure washer down in there and flush them all out. So if you have one of these, make sure you check your stack up front, because it could have a bunch of crap in there messing up the cooling. So we're gonna get this off the frame rack and drive this home this afternoon and drop it back off at alignment in the morning. All right, so that's a wrap. We're gonna drive this thing home. Steering wheel is a lot straighter. It's not upside down like it was. So that's a good thing. Definitely whenever you hit the brakes, it still wants to kind of pull to the right. I'm not 100% sure what that is. Could be maybe a hanging up caliper or something. If y'all know what that might be, comment below. It's only that when you hit the brakes, it kind of wants to pull hard right. It doesn't pulsate like it's a bent rotor or a warped rotor, I'm sorry, or anything like that. It just pulls harder to the right when you hit the brakes. Yeah, I need to check the tire pressures too to make sure they haven't leaked down, make sure there's no leaks or nothing. Sometimes if you have a tire that's lower, then it wants to pull. But besides that, she's all together. We're gonna drive her home. Still no hood, no tailgate, no bumper. It took me all day to get these ball joints and everything done. I'll drop it back off at alignment in the morning. Hopefully they can get it done this time, and hopefully everything will go good. And while they're doing the alignment and everything on it tomorrow, we'll wet sand and buff the hood, the tailgate, and round up some other odds and ends. Hopefully if I can get it back half day tomorrow, Wednesday, then I can get it all together by Wednesday afternoon. So need to get the exhaust tip still put on and sort out a couple little things like the tail light, reverse lights. So like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you on the next video. You remember in the other video how bad the steering was? This is how it is now, from just cutting and extending the drag length. You know, that's about it. And of course, all these trucks have some play in the wheels, so you're always kind of back and forth. They kind of feel like they're floating, but that's pretty good. I mean, it was like all the way over like that before, so it's pretty crazy. And like I said, it wants to pull right when it stops, but it was like this before, and you know, now it's kind of more like that. So they should definitely at the alignment shop be able to pull that out of it and get that steering wheel straight.